Milan woke up early on the morning of June 18th, 1997, but it did not feel like a normal day. The city had a different kind of energy in the air, something warm and exciting that could be felt even before the sun was fully up. People who were usually quiet during their morning routines seemed more awake, more alert, as if they were getting ready for something special. And they were, because Michael Jackson was performing in the city that night. Everyone knew it was going to be a day they would remember for a very long time. By sunrise, local TV channels had already started talking about the big event. News reporters stood confidently in front of cameras, holding microphones and speaking with a sense of thrill in their voices. Even fans who were still sleepy turned on their televisions as soon as they opened their eyes, wanting to hear the latest updates. The broadcasts showed long lines beginning to form outside the stadium, even though the concert was still many hours away. Some people had arrived before daylight just to make sure they got a good spot. In different parts of the city, posters of Michael Jackson decorated walls, buses, and store windows. His face, his iconic outfits, and the famous History World Tour artwork appeared everywhere someone turned. The posters were colorful and bright, bringing life to every corner of Milan. Children walking to school pointed at them with excitement, while adults smiled, remembering their own favorite songs. The music of Michael Jackson had touched people of all ages, and on this day, that shared love connected everyone. As the morning grew busier, more and more fans made their way into the streets. Some held signs they spent hours making the night before. Others wore special tour shirts with sparkling designs. A few people even dressed like Michael Jackson, black jackets, white socks, shiny shoes, and hats tilted just right. They walked proudly, happy to express their admiration. Anyone watching them could tell how much the upcoming concert meant to them. Trains arriving at Milan's main station carried groups from other cities. Some fans had traveled all night, unable to sleep because of the excitement. When they stepped off the trains, reporters were already waiting, ready to capture their first reactions. The fans spoke with wide smiles, sharing how far they had come and how long they had loved Michael Jackson's music. They explained how they grew up listening to him, practicing his dance moves, and dreaming of seeing him live someday. Now that dream was finally coming true. The streets around the stadium became busier by the minute. People waved to each other, took photos, and formed small groups to talk about their favorite Michael Jackson performances. Even strangers felt like friends because they all shared the same passion. The sound of laughter filled the air, along with snippets of conversation in Italian, English, Spanish, French, and many other languages. It was clear that Michael Jackson had brought together people from all around the world for one unforgettable night. Television broadcasters covered everything. They showed aerial footage from helicopter cameras, capturing the growing crowds as they moved like colorful streams around the huge stadium. The reporters spoke with excitement about the scale of the event and the emotions they were witnessing on the ground. They described the atmosphere as electric, full of joy and celebration. Every time the TV channels replayed earlier tour highlights, clips of Michael dancing with precision, singing with passion, or interacting warmly with fans, people watching from home felt their anticipation rising even more. Shops near the stadium opened early to meet the rush. Local cafe owners smiled as hungry fans entered for breakfast. Some customers wore glitter makeup or shiny accessories, and the cafe staff were amused but also delighted to see so many cheerful faces. The smell of fresh pastries mixed with the lively chatter of excited fans. Outside, souvenir sellers arranged their merchandise on tables. Posters, badges, hats, and unofficial T-shirts. People looked through them, choosing gifts to remember the day forever. As the afternoon approached, the summer sun warmed the city, but it did not slow down the enthusiasm. Fans gathered in open areas to rest, talk, and wait. Many sang their favorite songs together, smooth harmonies of "You Are Not Alone," joyful rhythms of The Way You Make Me Feel, or energetic chants from Jam. Their voices carried through the air, and passers-by paused to listen. Some took out their video cameras, capturing the happy scenes to show their families later. TV crews moved through the growing crowds, interviewing fans and capturing their excitement. One reporter spoke to a teenager who said she had been counting down the days for months. Another interviewed a father who brought his young son, explaining how he wanted to share the experience with him. Every interview revealed heartfelt stories, how Michael's music helped someone through hard times, how his performances inspired creativity, or how his messages of unity touched people deeply. Listening to these stories, the reporters themselves began to feel the emotional weight of the day. The stadium area slowly transformed into a gathering of joyful faces, colorful outfits, and a worldwide community united for the same reason. The sounds of drums and rehearsals occasionally drifted out from inside the venue, adding another layer of excitement. Every time the sound leaked through, the waiting crowd cheered, imagining what the full show would be like later. TV cameras captured these spontaneous reactions, broadcasting them to viewers at home who couldn't be there physically but were still sharing the excitement. Meanwhile, the city's transportation system worked busily to handle the influx of fans. Buses and taxis moved constantly, carrying groups in and out of the area. Drivers chatted with passengers about which songs they were excited to hear. Even people who were not attending the concert found themselves smiling, unable to escape the contagious happiness filling Milan. As the afternoon shifted toward evening, the golden light of the sun gave the city a warm, glowing look. Fans stood together in long lines, chatting with the people next to them. Some exchanged stories, others shared snacks and water, and many took turns taking photos for each other. There was kindness everywhere. No one pushed or argued. Everyone seemed connected through the shared joy of being there. Television coverage continued, showing the transformation of the crowds from morning excitement to evening anticipation. Anchors in the studio spoke with bright expressions, comparing the event to a festival or a special holiday. They talked about how Milan had hosted many concerts before, but rarely experienced a day with so much unity and positive energy. Every channel seemed focused on celebrating the event, treating it like a national moment of pride. In the final hours before the gates opened, the atmosphere reached its peak. The excitement was almost tangible, like a warm breeze moving over the crowd. People adjusted their outfits, checked their cameras, and made sure their tickets were safe. Some fans closed their eyes and took deep breaths, trying to calm their racing hearts. Others bounced on their feet, unable to stay still. They knew they were standing on the edge of a memory that would last a lifetime. The reporters watching the crowd sensed how important the moment was. They described the scene with admiration, calling it one of the most enthusiastic gatherings Milan had ever seen. Their words carried through every television screen, sending a wave of excitement across the country. Even people who were far away could feel the magic of the day. As the first hints of evening settled in and the stadium lights flickered on, the city seemed to hold its breath. The long hours of waiting, traveling, planning, and dreaming had all led to this very moment. The anticipation in the air was so strong that it felt almost like gentle sparks floating around the crowd. Milan stood ready, glowing with happiness and expectation, prepared to welcome one of the most famous performers in the world. The excitement in Milan did not stop as the afternoon rolled into evening. As the sun slowly began to sink toward the horizon, the city seemed to glow in golden light, reflecting the energy of the people gathered for the concert. The streets near the stadium were packed with fans, each person carrying their own stories, memories, and dreams connected to Michael Jackson. Even from a distance, it was easy to see the crowd moving like a living river, flowing toward one central point, the stadium gates where the magic was about to begin. Television crews were everywhere, capturing the event from every possible angle. Cameras were perched on rooftops, Drones hovered high above, and reporters navigated through the throngs of people on foot. Each channel tried to show the excitement, the anticipation, and the joy of the fans. Some broadcasted live, while others recorded footage to create special reports later. They highlighted the diversity of the audience: children with wide eyes, teenagers who had memorized every dance move, parents who brought their families to share the experience, and older fans who remembered Michael's earliest performances. The reports emphasized that this was not just a concert, it was a cultural event, a celebration of music, art, and unity. Fans continued to arrive in groups and individually. Some came from nearby towns, while others traveled across Italy and even from other countries. Trains, buses, and taxis were constantly delivering people to the stadium, and each arrival added to the anticipation. As soon as fans stepped out of transportation, they were greeted by cheers and smiles from those already waiting. Friends were made instantly, and strangers became companions in shared excitement. Many people carried cameras, video recorders, or notebooks, determined to capture every moment and remember it forever. Some even brought snacks to share, turning the waiting hours into mini picnics filled with laughter, music, and conversation. While the fans gathered outside, television crews focused on capturing the most interesting stories. One reporter interviewed a young boy who had been practicing Michael Jackson's famous dance moves for months. The boy demonstrated the moonwalk on the pavement, spinning and sliding with precision, while nearby fans cheered. Another reporter spoke with a group of teenagers who had handmade posters covered with glitter and drawings. Each poster was unique, showing the creativity inspired by the artist. The teenagers explained that they wanted Michael to see their love and admiration, even if only from afar. These interviews highlighted not only the passion of the fans, but also the personal connections people had with Michael's music and performances. In addition to the interviews, television cameras captured the environment itself. The streets around the stadium were a sea of colors, fans wearing sparkling shirts, hats, and accessories, flags waving proudly, and even some people painted with face designs to show their excitement. Vendors moved through the crowd, selling souvenirs and drinks, adding to the festival-like atmosphere. The noise was constant but joyful: laughter, singing, chanting, and the occasional cheer whenever someone spotted a familiar face or demonstrated a dance move. Reporters emphasized that the mood was unlike anything the city had seen in years, describing it as an electric celebration of life, music, and community. Inside the stadium, the stage was being prepared. Television reports captured glimpses of the massive setup through permitted camera angles. Lights, screens, props, and sound equipment were being arranged with precision. Technicians and stagehands moved quickly, ensuring every detail was perfect for the performance. Even though the fans outside could not see all the work happening inside, they could sense the careful preparation through occasional sounds of rehearsals and the hum of activity. Reporters explained that a concert of this scale required months of planning, from choreography to costume design, and that every element was chosen to create an unforgettable experience for the audience. As the evening approached, the sense of anticipation grew even stronger. The golden sunlight faded, replaced by the soft glow of stadium lights and street lamps. Television broadcasts showed aerial views of the crowd, capturing the sheer number of fans who had gathered. Each new shot seemed to increase the excitement, as viewers could see how far the lines stretched, how packed the streets were, and how everyone seemed to be united in joy. Anchors in the studio spoke with enthusiasm, describing the event as historic and emphasizing how rare it was to witness something so extraordinary. They explained that Michael Jackson was not only a performer, but a global icon whose influence went beyond music, inspiring generations around the world. The fans themselves played a key role in making the evening unforgettable. Many started to sing his songs, their voices blending together in an impromptu chorus. "Billie Jean," "Beat It," and Smooth Criminal echoed through the streets, as if the city itself were singing along. Children danced on tiptoe, teenagers mimicked choreography from music videos, and parents clapped and cheered in delight. Even those who were waiting quietly seemed to hum along, caught up in the collective energy. Television crews captured these moments with care, showing the pure joy of the people and how music could bring them together in a way that nothing else could. In addition to singing, fans also told stories to reporters and camera crews. Many shared how Michael Jackson's music had helped them through difficult times, inspired them to pursue their passions, or simply made them happy when life was challenging. One young woman spoke about learning English through his songs, while another man explained how dancing along with Michael's music had built confidence in his life. Every story was heartfelt, emphasizing the personal connection between the artist and his fans. Television broadcasts highlighted these stories, allowing viewers at home to feel part of the event even if they could not attend in person. As twilight settled over Milan, the city became even more magical. The fading sunlight reflected off windows and buildings, casting a warm, golden glow on the crowd. Fans adjusted their outfits, checking their accessories and costumes, while others shared snacks or took photos with new friends. The mood was cheerful, relaxed, and full of excitement. People laughed, shared memories, and imagined what the concert would be like. Reporters noted that this sense of community, of joy shared among strangers, was a remarkable sight. It was clear that Michael Jackson's presence, even before he appeared on stage, had created a unique atmosphere that could not be replicated. Television stations took advantage of the changing light to film creative shots of the fans. Cameras captured smiles, dancing, waving hands, and even quiet moments of anticipation. Anchors explained the history of Michael Jackson's tours, mentioning how this particular visit to Milan was part of the History World Tour and why it was so important to his fans. They also highlighted how rare it was for someone from anywhere in the world to create such enthusiasm, noting the cultural and emotional significance of the event. Even viewers who had never seen a Michael Jackson concert could sense the excitement and feel the importance of the night. Some fans began to prepare small surprises for Michael. Banners were unfolded, glitter and confetti were arranged, and groups practiced synchronized movements to catch his attention. Television crews captured these efforts, showing the dedication and creativity of the people. It was not just about attending a concert, it was about making the experience memorable, both for themselves and for the artist they admired. Reporters noted that these gestures, large and small, reflected the deep affection and admiration that fans had for Michael Jackson, a sentiment that connected people across generations and backgrounds. Finally, as night approached and the city lights glimmered, the anticipation reached its highest point. The fans outside the stadium seemed almost electric, their energy moving like waves through the crowd. Everyone felt that something extraordinary was about to happen, something that would remain in their memories forever. Television anchors concluded their live reports by expressing admiration for the fans and excitement for the concert. They encouraged viewers to watch and remember the moment, noting that it was a rare occasion when music, emotion, and community came together so perfectly. By the time the first hints of night settled in, Milan had transformed into a city alive with music, laughter, and shared anticipation. The fans, the television crews, and even the city itself seemed to hold their breath, waiting for the moment when Michael Jackson would finally take the stage. The streets were still buzzing with conversation, the occasional laughter, and the constant singing of songs. People exchanged smiles, shared stories, and counted the moments until the gates opened. It was a night that promised to be unforgettable, and everyone present knew it. For Milan and its people, June 18th, 1997, had already become a special day. A day when the world's greatest entertainer would bring them together to experience joy, music, and history. As the evening deepened, The anticipation in Milan became almost tangible. The sun had completely set, leaving the city bathed in the soft glow of streetlights, stadium lights, and the occasional flicker of camera flashes. Fans continued to gather outside the stadium, and the excitement had grown into something extraordinary. People could feel that this was no ordinary night. This was a night that would be remembered for years. Every small movement, every laugh, and every cheer seemed to carry a quiet electricity, as if the city itself were holding its breath in anticipation of what was about to happen. The first signs of Michael Jackson's arrival caused the crowd to stir in ways that were almost instinctive. Rumors spread quickly. Someone said they had seen his car. Another whispered that the motorcade was approaching from the main road. Television cameras were ready, broadcasting live as people craned their necks to catch even the smallest glimpse. Reporters moved through the crowd with microphones, asking fans how they felt. Their voices were nearly drowned out by the cheers and excited chatter of thousands of people. Every face in the crowd reflected the same mixture of joy, curiosity, and disbelief that they were so close to one of the greatest performers in the world. Fans waved flags, held up posters, and called out Michael's name, their voices blending into a chorus that seemed to echo across the city. Some had been waiting since the early morning hours, while others had traveled from faraway cities, carrying luggage, cameras, and gifts. The energy of the crowd was infectious, and television cameras captured every moment, showing viewers at home how alive the city had become. Interviews with fans revealed heartfelt stories. Some had grown up listening to Michael Jackson's music, some had danced to his songs for years, and others had followed every tour across Europe. The sense of personal connection to the artist was profound, and it was clear that this concert meant far more than just an evening of music. It was a celebration of a lifetime of memories. Amid the excitement, the streets around the stadium were a flurry of activity. Security personnel moved calmly through the crowd, ensuring everyone was safe and organized. Vendors sold snacks, drinks, and souvenirs, weaving through the fans who were too eager to stop. Small groups gathered to share stories or practice dance moves, while children mimicked the famous steps they had learned from music videos. Even the simplest moments, someone helping another with a camera, a group singing together, or a family taking a photo, felt like part of the magic of the evening. Television crews filmed these moments carefully, highlighting the joy, unity, and community that had grown around the event. Inside the stadium, preparations were in full swing. Although the fans outside could only glimpse the activity through brief flashes of lights and sounds of movement, television reports offered a window into the meticulous planning behind the performance. Technicians checked sound systems, lights, and special effects. Stagehands arranged props with precision, making sure every detail was perfect. Rehearsals had taken place for months, and now the final touches were being added to ensure that the show would be flawless. Reporters explained the scale of the production, emphasizing that a concert of this magnitude was not just about singing. It was a combination of music, storytelling, and visual spectacle, all designed to create an unforgettable experience for every attendee. The fans outside waited patiently, yet excitement continued to build with every passing minute. Groups sang and danced, their voices carrying across the streets. Thriller, Black or White, and Heal the World echoed through the air, each song a tribute to the performer they admired. Television cameras zoomed in on children clapping along, teenagers spinning and sliding across the pavement, and parents who joined in with quiet smiles. Reporters pointed out that this communal energy was one of the most striking aspects of the concert experience. It was not only about seeing Michael Jackson perform, it was about sharing the joy of music with thousands of others, all connected by the same admiration and excitement. As the night wore on, the first signs of Michael Jackson's approach created a wave of excitement that swept through the crowd. Fans held their breath, scanning the streets for any hint of the motorcade. Some clutched their cameras tightly, hoping to capture the moment forever, while others raised their arms to cheer in anticipation. Television crews were ready, capturing the reactions of fans who jumped, waved, and shouted as the rumor of his arrival grew stronger. Reporters described the scene as electrifying, noting that the connection between the fans and the artist was something rarely seen in such a public and visible way. The arrival of the motorcade was a moment of pure exhilaration. Cameras focused on every movement, capturing the sound of engines, the flash of headlights, and the subtle signals of the staff guiding the cars. Fans shouted and cheered, waving their arms and signs with uncontainable enthusiasm. Some even began singing louder, as if their voices could somehow reach Michael before he stepped onto the stage. The television broadcasts relayed the excitement to viewers across Italy and beyond, showing how the city had come together in a celebration that transcended music. The sight of thousands of people cheering, singing, and clapping simultaneously was a testament to the power of shared joy and anticipation. Once the motorcade passed, the crowd remained energized. The brief glimpse of Michael Jackson had heightened the excitement, and everyone knew the real experience was about to begin. People adjusted their positions, checked their cameras, and prepared for the gates to open. Children hopped with impatience, teenagers whispered final instructions to friends, and parents smiled at the infectious energy around them. The atmosphere was electric, with a mixture of calm preparation and almost overwhelming enthusiasm. Reporters noted that this moment captured the essence of fandom at its most devoted, an energy that was positive, unifying, and filled with hope. As the final minutes before the concert ticked away, the crowd sang, clapped, and laughed together. Some fans held hands with strangers they had met while waiting, while others simply soaked in the sounds, sights, and smells of the evening. Television crews captured the excitement with close-ups and wide shots, showing the enormity of the crowd and the diversity of its members. Anchors spoke about the significance of Michael Jackson's performance, emphasizing how rare it was for an artist to inspire such devotion across generations, cultures, and continents. The message was clear. This was more than a concert. It was a moment of history being witnessed by those present and those watching from afar. As the stadium lights brightened and the air buzzed with energy, reporters continued to interview fans, capturing their emotions in real time. A young woman with tears in her eyes described how she had dreamed of this night for years, practicing dance moves in her bedroom and memorizing lyrics until they became second nature. A father spoke about bringing his children to share the experience he had cherished in his own youth. Each story reinforced the idea that Michael Jackson's influence extended beyond entertainment. It touched lives, inspired creativity, and created lasting memories. Television reports highlighted these personal connections, reminding viewers of the power of music to unite people in joy and celebration. The crowd waited, but their patience was filled with happiness rather than restlessness. Groups continued to sing along to classic hits, occasionally stopping to cheer when a particular sound or light caught their attention. Children danced freely, their movements joyful and uninhibited. Teenagers performed intricate steps they had learned from music videos, while adults clapped and joined in with smiles. Reporters pointed out that this level of enthusiasm was remarkable and that the energy outside the stadium reflected the collective excitement of thousands of individuals who shared a common passion. It was not just a concert, it was a festival of music, emotion, and human connection. Finally, the moment everyone had been waiting for seemed close. The hum of preparation inside the stadium could be heard faintly, adding to the anticipation. Fans adjusted their cameras, whispered final messages to friends, and prepared themselves for the spectacle they were about to witness. Television crews captured these moments with precision, showing the faces of eager attendees, their sparkling eyes, and their beaming smiles. Anchors commented on the extraordinary unity displayed, noting how music had the power to create a shared experience unlike any other. In Milan that night, it was clear that Michael Jackson had achieved more than just fame. He had created a moment that would live on in the hearts of those present forever. As the final minutes approached, the crowd seemed to vibrate with energy. Every cheer, every clap, and every shout contributed to an atmosphere of excitement that was almost tangible. People held their breath, imagining the first moment Michael Jackson would appear on stage. Television cameras moved through the crowd one last time, capturing every detail: the glittering outfits, the waving banners, the excited faces of fans young and old. Anchors in the studio spoke with enthusiasm, reminding viewers that they were witnessing a rare event, a concert that would become a landmark in the memories of everyone present. The excitement in Milan was no longer just about anticipation. It had become a living celebration of music, joy, and shared human experience. The moment the gates finally opened, the crowd surged forward, their excitement overflowing. Fans moved quickly but carefully, eager to find their places, yet sharing smiles and laughter with the people around them. The air was filled with the combined sounds of applause, chatter, and the occasional squeal of joy. Television cameras caught every angle, showing the sheer size of the crowd and the energy that seemed almost electric. It was a sight that could make anyone watching from home feel like they were right there, part of this extraordinary gathering. People from all walks of life were standing shoulder to shoulder, united by their admiration for one of the most famous performers in the world. Inside the stadium, the scale of the production became immediately apparent. Lights shimmered across the stage, reflecting off metallic props and vibrant backdrops. Giant screens displayed intricate graphics, preparing to guide the audience through a story woven into the performance. Technicians hurried behind the scenes, checking sound systems, adjusting microphones, and coordinating with dancers and backup singers. The attention to detail was incredible, and it was clear that months of preparation had gone into every moment. Television crews captured these behind-the-scenes glimpses, allowing viewers at home to appreciate the immense effort required to create a show of this magnitude. The audience could feel the excitement building with each passing second. Fans clutched their tickets tightly, their eyes glued to the stage, waiting for the first appearance of Michael Jackson. Conversations quieted down as the anticipation grew, replaced by the collective heartbeat of the crowd. Children perched on their parents' shoulders, trying to get the best view, while teenagers and adults exchanged whispers about which songs might open the concert. Every face in the stadium reflected a mixture of awe, happiness, and almost a sense of disbelief that the night they had dreamed of for so long was finally happening. And then it began. A dramatic rise of lights cut through the darkness, revealing the stage in all its grandeur. A soft, musical introduction filled the stadium, and the crowd erupted into cheers. Michael Jackson appeared, moving gracefully onto the stage, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. Cameras captured every gesture, every expression, while fans screamed, waved, and reached out as if their hands could touch the star they had admired for years. Television broadcasters noted the precision of his movements and the warmth of his presence, emphasizing that it was not just a performance, but a connection between artist and audience. The first song began, and the stadium transformed into a whirlwind of music, dance, and light. Fans sang along, their voices blending into a chorus that echoed across the venue. Children danced freely, parents clapped in rhythm, and teenagers tried to follow the intricate steps of the choreography. Every movement of Michael Jackson on stage was mirrored by bursts of applause and cheers. Television cameras moved smoothly to capture wide shots of the audience, as well as close-ups of his expressions, showing viewers at home the intense connection between the performer and the crowd. It was as if the music itself had created a bridge between everyone present, binding them together in a shared experience of joy. The performance continued seamlessly, with each song bringing a new wave of excitement. Pyrotechnics lit up the stage in bursts of color, synchronized with beats and rhythms that kept the audience captivated. Dancers moved in perfect harmony, spinning, sliding, and performing incredible sequences that left fans gasping in awe. Large screens displayed visuals that enhanced the storytelling of the songs, showing imagery that complemented the music without overshadowing the performance. Reporters on site described the atmosphere as electric, noting how Michael Jackson's energy on stage seemed to multiply the enthusiasm of the crowd, creating a unique, almost magical experience. One of the most memorable moments came when he performed a song that many fans had waited months to hear live. The crowd sang along from the very first note, their voices blending perfectly with the music. Children jumped up and down, teenagers shouted lyrics in unison, and parents swayed with smiles on their faces. Television coverage captured the overwhelming joy of the audience, showing viewers at home the emotional impact of the performance. The combination of lights, sound, and movement created an immersive environment that seemed to transport everyone present into a world filled with music, emotion, and connection. As the concert progressed, Michael Jackson interacted with the audience in ways that made each person feel included. He gestured, smiled, and moved around the stage in a manner that invited connection, creating moments of intimacy even in the vast stadium. Fans waved back, held up their signs, and shouted his name, thrilled that their admiration had been acknowledged. Television crews highlighted these moments, showing how a single gesture could elicit waves of joy from thousands of people. Reporters emphasized that this interaction was a key part of what made the concert so special, blending professional performance with genuine human connection. Between songs, short segments of storytelling unfolded on the large screens. These visual interludes explained the meaning behind the music, often highlighting messages of unity, hope, and love. Fans watched intently, connecting emotionally with the themes of the songs while anticipating the next musical performance. Children sat quietly for a moment, absorbing the visuals, while adults reflected on the lyrics and choreography. Television broadcasts captured these transitions, emphasizing that the concert was designed not just to entertain, but to inspire and move the audience in profound ways. As the night wore on, the energy of the crowd never waned. Each new song brought renewed excitement, and the audience responded with enthusiastic singing, clapping, and dancing. Fans waved banners, hats, and light sticks, creating a sea of movement that complemented the performance on stage. Television crews panned across the stadium, showing viewers at home how massive, energetic, and joyful the crowd had become. Reporters noted that the synergy between the performer and the fans was extraordinary. Every cheer, every clap, and every movement of the audience seemed to feed back into the performance, creating a cycle of energy that electrified the entire stadium. At one point, a slower, emotional song brought a moment of calm and reflection. The stage lights softened, and the music carried an intimate, heartfelt message. Fans listened quietly, swaying gently, some even holding hands or closing their eyes as they felt the emotion of the moment. Television cameras focused on the expressions of the audience, showing tears of joy, smiles of admiration, and faces lost in the experience. Reporters described this as one of the most touching parts of the concert, highlighting how Michael Jackson's music could move people deeply, connecting with their hearts as well as their ears. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, the pace picked up again. The stage exploded with lights, music, and movement. Dancers twirled and leaped, while Michael Jackson moved across the stage with the precision and grace that had made him famous worldwide. Fans jumped, cheered, and sang along at full volume. Television broadcasts captured the excitement, emphasizing the spectacle of the event. The combination of choreography, sound, visuals, and crowd participation created a sensory experience that felt larger than life. Every moment seemed carefully orchestrated, yet also alive and spontaneous, blending perfection with the raw energy of live performance. Throughout the performance, Michael Jackson's ability to connect with every individual in the stadium was evident. He gestured toward sections of the audience, acknowledged fans holding up signs, and even paused to smile or wave. Each small action generated waves of cheer, laughter, and applause. Television coverage focused on these interactions, showing viewers how the artist created a sense of intimacy despite the massive scale of the venue. Reporters emphasized that this ability to engage personally with the audience was one of Michael Jackson's greatest gifts, making every fan feel seen, valued, and part of the experience. As the concert neared its finale, the energy reached a climax. The stage lights blazed, the music reached its crescendo, and fans responded with the loudest cheers of the night. Everyone sang, clapped, and waved, lost in the shared joy of the moment. Television cameras moved rapidly, capturing close-ups of the performer, the dancers, and the ecstatic audience. The combination of sound, movement, and emotion created a feeling that this was more than just a concert. It was a celebration of life, art, and human connection. Reporters noted that nights like this were rare and that the experience would stay with attendees for a lifetime. Finally, the last song ended, and the stadium erupted into applause, cheers, and chants of, "Michael! Michael! Michael!" Fans jumped, clapped, and waved signs, reluctant to let the night end. Television crews captured the standing ovation, highlighting the overwhelming enthusiasm of the crowd. Reporters described the atmosphere as electric, noting that the shared experience of music, performance, and emotion had created memories that everyone present would cherish forever. Even as the lights dimmed and the stage was cleared, the energy lingered in the stadium, echoing the joy, excitement, and connection that had defined the entire concert. After the final notes of the concert faded into the night, the energy inside the stadium did not disappear. Fans remained standing, clapping, cheering, and singing Michael Jackson's songs long after the stage had gone dark. The applause was endless, filled with gratitude, joy, and a touch of disbelief that they had witnessed something so extraordinary. People hugged each other, exchanged smiles, and whispered to their friends and family about the moments they would never forget. Even those who had been in the stadium for hours were reluctant to leave, wanting to savor every last second of the shared experience. Television cameras captured the aftermath, showing fans with tears of happiness in their eyes, faces glowing from excitement, and hands still raised in celebration. Reporters moved through the crowd, asking for reactions and capturing heartfelt stories from those who had attended. One young girl described how she had practiced dancing to Michael Jackson's songs for months, and that finally seeing him perform live was like a dream come true. A man in his 50s said that attending the concert with his children allowed him to share the joy he had felt as a teenager when he first listened to Michael's music. Every story reflected the deep connection between the artist and his fans, a bond that transcended age, language, and geography. Outside the stadium, the streets were filled with fans slowly making their way home. Groups walked together, laughing and talking about their favorite moments from the concert. Some paused to take photos, wanting to capture the lights of the emptying stadium as a memory of the night. The atmosphere remained joyful and peaceful, with people sharing their excitement and stories with anyone who would listen. Vendors who had stayed late sold the last of their merchandise, and cafe owners offered food and drinks to the lingering crowds. The city itself seemed to glow with the energy of the night, reflecting the emotions of the people who had been part of this historic event. Television stations began compiling the night's footage, creating reports that highlighted the most memorable moments. Fans were interviewed, and clips of the performance were shown, including Michael Jackson's incredible dancing, the spectacular stage effects, and the emotional songs that had moved the audience. Anchors described the concert as a once-in-a-lifetime event, emphasizing how rare it was to see such dedication, energy, and artistry in one performance. Even viewers who had not been able to attend could feel the excitement and emotion through the broadcasts, experiencing a taste of the magic that had filled the stadium. Many fans shared how the concert had inspired them. Some said they had been motivated to start dancing or singing again, while others talked about how Michael Jackson's messages of hope, unity, and love had resonated even more strongly after seeing him perform live. Children returned home excitedly practicing their favorite dance moves, and teenagers discussed creating their own performances inspired by the show. Parents spoke about how the event had strengthened family bonds as they had shared a moment of pure happiness together. The concert had not only entertained, but also inspired, leaving a lasting impression on everyone who had attended. Even in the days following the concert, the excitement continued. People who had been present shared their experiences with friends, colleagues, and family, recounting the details of each song, dance, and special moment. Social gatherings were filled with stories about the concert, and even those who had not attended became part of the shared conversation, feeling connected to the event through the memories and emotions of those who had experienced it. Television stations aired recap reports showing highlights and fan reactions, ensuring that the impact of the concert reached far beyond the walls of the stadium. The impact of the night extended to the city of Milan itself. Local businesses reported that the concert had brought visitors from near and far, filling hotels, restaurants, and shops. Streets were lively with excitement and tourism, and people from different regions mingled and shared their love for Michael Jackson. The city had become a hub of joy, creativity, and cultural celebration, all centered around the music and performance of a single artist. Reporters highlighted how Milan had become a part of musical history that night, with memories that would be cherished for years to come. Fans treasured the memorabilia they had purchased, from posters and T-shirts to video recordings of the event. Each item served as a reminder of the experience and the emotions they had felt. Some organized small gatherings to watch the recordings together, reliving the energy and magic of the concert. Others created scrapbooks or journals, documenting the stories of their journey to the stadium, the friends they had made, and the songs they had sung. The personal and collective memories from the night became a source of joy, inspiration, and pride for everyone involved. Television broadcasts continued to replay the most emotional moments of the concert, highlighting how Michael Jackson had moved the audience with both his performance and his presence. His gestures toward the crowd, the energy he put into every dance move, and the passion in his singing were all captured in detail. Fans watching at home or abroad could feel the intensity of the night, connecting emotionally to the music and the shared experience. Reporters emphasized that this concert was more than just entertainment. It was a cultural moment, a celebration of art, music, and human connection that had brought thousands of people together in joy and admiration. Over time, the concert became part of the larger story of Michael Jackson's legacy. Fans who attended often looked back on the event as one of the most exciting and unforgettable experiences of their lives. They spoke about it in interviews, wrote articles, or shared their memories on television programs. The rare footage from the night became treasured, not only for the performance itself, but also for the way it captured the reactions, emotions, and stories of the fans. In this way, the Milan concert continued to inspire and connect people long after the final song had ended. The concert also left a lasting impression on the performers and the production team. Dancers, musicians, and technical staff reflected on the energy and enthusiasm of the crowd, noting how it elevated their own performance. They shared stories about the challenges of creating such a large-scale show and the rewards of seeing the audience respond with joy and excitement. Television reports sometimes included interviews with these team members, highlighting the teamwork and dedication that went into producing a concert of this scale. It was a reminder that behind the magic on stage, countless people worked together to create an experience that would be remembered for a lifetime. In addition to the performance itself, the Milan concert served as a reminder of the power of music to bring people together. Fans from different countries, speaking different languages, and from different walks of life found common ground in their love for Michael Jackson. Television broadcasts highlighted this diversity, showing how music could transcend barriers and create a shared emotional experience. Reporters noted that the night was not just about entertainment, it was about connection, inspiration, and the joy of being part of something greater than oneself. As the final days passed, the memories of the concert continued to be celebrated. Fans shared videos, photographs, and stories online and in their communities. Articles and reports revisited the event, emphasizing its significance in the history of live performance. Families who had attended together spoke about how the concert had strengthened their bonds, and individuals reflected on how the experience had inspired them to pursue their own dreams. The Milan concert became more than a single night of music. It became a symbol of joy, inspiration, and the universal power of art to unite people across time and space. In the end, the History World Tour stop in Milan on June 18, 1997, became a cherished memory for everyone involved. Fans carried the excitement, inspiration, and joy with them long after the stadium lights went out. Television reports, interviews, and recordings ensured that even those who could not attend could feel the impact of the night. The concert left behind more than applause and memories. It left a sense of connection, a celebration of creativity, and a reminder that music has the power to inspire, uplift, and bring people together in ways that are both timeless and unforgettable. Even years later, stories of that night continued to circulate. Fans spoke about it in interviews, online forums, and casual conversations, sharing the magic they had experienced. The rare footage and TV reports became treasured archives, preserving not just the performance but the collective joy of the audience. Children who attended went on to tell their own children about the night they saw Michael Jackson live, passing down the excitement, energy, and inspiration from generation to generation. In this way, the concert's impact extended far beyond the stadium, leaving a legacy of happiness, unity, and the enduring power of music. The night in Milan became a milestone, remembered not only for the music, but for the emotions, the shared energy, and the human connections it created. Michael Jackson's performance, combined with the dedication and passion of the fans, created a moment that would never be forgotten. The city itself seemed to glow with the memory, and people carried it in their hearts forever. Television broadcasts, interviews, and personal stories ensured that the experience remained alive in the collective memory of those who witnessed it. In the story of music history, June 18, 1997, in Milan stands as a shining example of how one person's talent and passion can create a night of joy, inspiration, and connection for thousands of people.